So the next one is magnetic field intensity due to a square current carrying wire. Okay, uh, you can understand it in a very simple way. Magnetic field intensity, magnetic field intensity due to a square wire or due to a square current carrying loop, which is of square. Square means all the sides must have same length. So for simplicity of analysis, I am considering the square current carrying loop along the xy plane. So this is x plane and this is y plane. I am considering the square current carrying loop. Square current carrying loop means all the sides must have same length, same length. Okay. So this is the square current carrying loop I am assuming. So this is the square current carrying loop carrying a current of I amperes. Okay, it is carrying the current like this, I am assuming. So it is in anti-clockwise direction. So each and every side is carrying the same current I, 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 I and I. Now I am interested to find the field intensity exactly at the center. This is a square current carrying loop. Exactly at this center, I want to find the field intensity. Exactly at the center, I want to find the field intensity. So this is the point of interest P. How many sides this square has? 4 sides. Let me give the side numbering. So side 1, side 2, side 3 and side 4. So we know that the starting class of Biot-Savart's law, I told you that Biot-Savart's law also follows superposition, principle of superposition. The field intensity at any point due to different current carrying conductors is the sum of all the field intensities determined for each and every conductor individually and added together. Okay. Now here also the field intensity at the point P, let us assume this as H suffix P bar. It is given by the summation of the field intensity due to the side 1 and the field intensity due to side 2, field intensity due to side 3 as well as field intensity due to side 4. Okay. So what is H1 bar? H1 bar is nothing but magnetic field intensity at point P due to side 1, due to side 1. Similarly, what is H2 bar? It is the magnetic field intensity at the same point due to side 2. Due to side 3, it is H3 bar, and due to side 4 is H4 bar. If you find the field intensity due to each and every side separately at this point of interest P and add them together, you will get the total field intensity due to all the sides. Now if you observe in this square current carrying conductor, each and every side looks like a finite and straight conductor. Okay, so here let me write clearly. Each side looks like a straight and finite conductor. Each side looks like a straight and finite conductor. Okay, so we will use the expression for the field intensity due to finite conductor here to find the field intensity due to each and every side. If you recall, the field intensity due to the finite and straight H bar due to finite and straight current carrying conductor. Okay, straight current carrying conductor is given by, we got the expression for this as I by 4 pi rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 A phi bar ampere per meter. If you recall the magnetic field intensity due to straight and finite current carrying conductor expression, you will get this expression. Is it right, ma? ఒకసారి ప్రీవియస్ నోట్స్ చూసి ఈ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ కరెక్ట్ కాదో చెప్పండి మా. ఎనీవన్ ఫ్రమ్ ద క్లాస్? మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ ఫీల్డ్ ఇంటెన్సిటీ కరెక్టేనమ్మా? ఏదన్నా మైనస్ ప్లస్ ఆల్ఫా టు ఆల్ఫా 1 కరెక్టే కదమ్మా? ఓకే అమ్మా. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద ఫీల్డ్ ఇంటెన్సిటీ డ్యూ టు ఫైనైట్ అండ్ స్ట్రైట్ కరెంట్ క్యారింగ్ కండక్టర్. Now for each and every side we use the same expression. For H1, H2, H3 and H4 we use the same expression. Now in this the things which we need to understand is what is rho, and how can you find alpha 2, and how can you find alpha 1, and what is A phi bar. These are the four things which we need to understand for each and every side. Now what is rho? Rho is nothing but the perpendicular distance. Is it right or not? Rho is the perpendicular distance between the conductor and point of interest. So I am assuming that this square has a side length of L. So each and every side has the same length for a square. I am assuming the square with side length L. So rho is the perpendicular distance between conductor and point of interest. Alpha 2 angle made by the finishing end, and alpha 1 is the angle made by the starting end. This is the starting end of this conductor and this is the finishing end of the conductor. Is it right or not? Based upon the current direction, we can say that this is the starting point of this conductor and this is the finishing end of this conductor. Similarly, for this conductor, this is the starting point and this is the finishing point, and for this conductor this is the starting point and this is the finishing point. Like that we can consider the starting end as well as the finishing end of the conductor. These are the angles made by the finishing end and the starting end. And how can I find A phi bar, ma? In the previous class, if you recall, the direction A phi bar is obtained by taking the cross product of AL bar and A rho bar. Now tell me, what is AL bar for the first conductor? AL bar for the first side, what is the direction in which the current is flowing? It is along positive x direction. So AL bar is nothing but AX bar cross, what is A rho bar? A rho bar is the perpendicular unit vector from the conductor to the point of interest. This is the point of interest and this is the conductor. From the conductor, let me take marking. So this is the conductor and this is the point of interest. From the conductor to the point of interest, the perpendicular unit vector. If you draw a perpendicular unit vector, it comes out to be, if you draw a perpendicular unit vector, it looks like this. What is this direction? It is a positive y direction. So you will have here AX bar cross AY bar. What is AX bar cross AY bar? AZ bar. You can find the A phi bar either by using this formula, which is AL bar cross A rho bar, or by applying right hand thumb rule. Okay, when you keep your thumb in the direction of right hand thumb in the direction of the current here and curl your fingers up to the point P, it shows the field is in this direction. What is this direction? It is away from the paper or away from the board. Away from the board is nothing but which axis? This is Z axis. If this is X axis, and if this is y-axis, this will be z-axis, positive z-axis. If you keep your right hand thumb in the direction of current here and curl your remaining four fingers to the point P, you can observe that the field is in this direction, which is away from the paper or away from the board. This direction is nothing but positive z direction, and we also got here positive z direction. So you can find the field direction either by applying this formula, which is AL bar cross arrow bar, or by applying right hand thumb rule. Okay, now we got the field direction. And what is the perpendicular distance between the conductor and point of interest? In the first conductor, this is the first conductor, right? So from this conductor to the point of interest, as the point of interest P is exactly at the center, the distance between the conductor and the point of interest is L by 2. Perpendicular distance is L by 2. Okay, now we got rho value and we got A5 bar value, and we need to find alpha 2 and alpha 1 values. Let me show only first conductor separately. This is the first conductor, right? Carrying a current of I in this direction. So this is the starting end. Extend the starting end, okay, and join this starting end with the point of interest. So point of interest is here. What is this angle? This angle is alpha 1 and this angle is alpha 2. Okay, so the angle made by the starting end is alpha 1 and the angle made by the finishing end is alpha 2. If it is alpha 1, what is this angle? This angle is pi minus alpha 1. So from this triangle, so you can form two triangles here. Now you can form two triangles here. This is the total length. What is this total length, ma? The length of each and every side of this square current carrying conductor is L, and your point of interest is P here. Okay, so this angle is pi minus alpha 1. This is one triangle. This is another triangle. What is this angle? This is alpha 2. Cos pi minus alpha 1 as well as cos alpha 2 both are same, because if you observe here, if you draw a perpendicular line from this point P to this line, it meets exactly at the center. So this length is L by 2, and what is this length? It is also L by 2, because if you observe here, total length is L up to the middle. This is L by 2 and this is L by 2, and what is this length? This length will also be L by 2. Okay, so the perpendicular length is L by 2. Here also it is L by 2, and what is this length? This length is also L by 2. Now from this triangle, consider this triangle as O, P, consider this point as A and this point as B. From the triangle POA, what is cos pi minus alpha 1? I will do only for two sides. From the triangle POA, cos pi minus alpha 1. What is cos pi minus alpha 1? Minus cos alpha 1. We know this already. So cos pi minus alpha 1 or cos minus cos alpha 1 is adjacent side by hypotenuse. What is adjacent side? L by 2. Hypotenuse is root of L by 2 square plus L by 2 square. Root of L by 2 square plus L by 2 square. So it is L by 2 divided with the root of L square by 4 plus L square by 4, and it is given by L by 2 by L square by 4 plus L square by 4 is 2 L square by 4. So 2 into root of L square by 4 can be written as L by 2. If you need to consider root 2 separately. Is it right or not? So L by 2 in the numerator and N by 2 in the numerator gets cancelled. You will get 1 by root 2. Is it right, ma? Have you understood? Similarly, cos alpha 2 is equal to cos alpha 2. How can you get cos alpha 2? From the triangle PBA. From the triangle PBA, cos alpha 2 is equal to, what is cos alpha 2? Adjacent side is L by 2 and hypotenuse is root of, again same value, L by 2 divided by root of L square by 4 plus L square by 4. L square by 4 plus L square by 4 is 2 times L square by 4, and if you take 2 out of the root you will get root 2, and L square by 4 under the root is L by 2. L by 2 cancelled, so you will get 1 by root 2. Now we got cos minus cos alpha 1 value, cos alpha 2 value, as well as rho value and a phi bar value. Substitute everything in this formula. H1 bar due to the first side. Actually the formula is I by 4 pi rho into cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 into AZ bar ampere per meter. AZ bar ampere per meter. Okay. Now what is rho? It is I. Current is same, 4 pi into, what is rho, ma? Rho is L by 2, which is the perpendicular distance from the conductor to the point of interest. So L by 2. Cos alpha 2 value is 1 by root 2 minus cos alpha 1 value is also 1 by root 2, and a phi bar. A phi bar, here you will get actually a phi bar. And what is a phi bar we got? We got a phi bar as AZ bar. The field is in Z direction. So AZ bar ampere per meter. So that you will get here 2 1s, 2 2s. It is I by 2 pi L, 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2, 2 by root 2, 2 by root 2. So 2 gets cancelled again. Root 2 into pi L I AZ bar ampere per meter. So finally the field due to the first side at the point P is given by I by root 2 into pi times L AZ bar ampere per meter. Okay. Next we will find due to the second side. In the entire square loop there is no need to find due to all the sides. If you find 2 sides, the remaining 2 sides will be obtained automatically. This is the magnetic field intensity due to first side we got. H1 bar is equal to I by root 2 pi L AZ bar. AZ bar means positive Z direction. I by root 2 pi L AZ bar ampere per meter. Okay. Now let us find due to the second side. Let us find the magnetic field intensity due to the second side. What is this? It is a H2 bar, right? So in order to find the H2 bar, how can I find? First of all, I need to know the generalized expression for field intensity due to a finite and straight current carrying conductor, and it is given by I by 4 pi rho. Is it right or not? What is the generalized expression? It is I by 4 pi rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 into a phi bar. So cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 a phi bar ampere per meter. Is it right or not? Now how can I find cos alpha 2 and cos alpha 1 and rho value, a phi bar? These are the 4 things which we need to find for this particular second side. Rho, cos alpha 2, cos alpha 1, a phi bar. How can I find it? Based upon the orientation of the conductor as well as the point of interest. How is the second side? Let me draw second side separately. So this is the second side. Is it right or not? For the square current carrying loop, this is the second side. And it is carrying the current in which direction? It is positive y direction, right? So the current carried by the second conductor is in positive y direction. And what is the starting end? This is the starting end and this is the finishing end. Is it right or not? Now where is the point of interest? This is the point of interest, which is exactly, as the point of interest is at the center of this square current carrying loop, the distance between the second side and the point of interest P is L by 2. L by 2. Is it right or not? Now how can I find alpha 1? Just join the starting end with the point of interest, and what is this angle is alpha 1. Is it right or not? And what is angle alpha 2? Angle alpha 2 is the angle made by the finishing end. Is it right or not? So this is alpha 2 and this is alpha 1. Alpha 1 and alpha 2. Okay. Now if it is alpha 1, what is this angle? It is pi minus alpha 1. If this angle is alpha 1, total angle will be 180 degrees. So 180 minus alpha 1 is this angle. Let me consider this point as H and this point as L and this point as M. So you have two triangles here again. What are the two triangles that we have here? The triangle PLH. If you observe from the diagram, from the triangle PLH, cos pi minus alpha 1. What is cos pi minus alpha 1? Adjacent side by hypotenuse. What is adjacent side? Length. Exactly, if you draw a perpendicular bisector from this point of interest to the point of interest to the current carrying conductor, this will be half the distance. This is the remaining half the distance. The total length of each and every side is L, we have assumed. So this is L by 2 and this is L by 2. Now what is adjacent side? L by 2. And what is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is again root of this side square plus this side square. It is L by 2 whole square plus L by 2 whole square. Karthik, ఆ డోర్ లైట్గా క్లోజ్ చేయమను, హాల్లోది ఇది బాగా క్లోజ్ చేయి. So cos pi minus alpha 1 is equal to L by 2 by root of L square by 4 plus L square by 4. Is it right or not? Now L by 2 divided with, it is root of 2 L square by 4. So root of 2 L square by 4 can be written as root 2 into L by 2. What is cos pi minus alpha 1? Cos pi minus alpha 1 is minus cos alpha 1. So again L by 2 gets cancelled. So the value of minus cos alpha 1 is 1 by root 2. The value of minus cos alpha 1 is 1 by root 2. Similarly, from the triangle PMH, what is cos alpha 2? Cos alpha 2 is equal to, again adjacent side is L by 2, hypotenuse is root of L by 2 whole square plus L by 2 whole square. So if you evaluate this, it is also same as minus cos alpha. Now we got cos alpha 2 value as well as cos alpha 1 value, which is same 1 by root 2. Next, what is A phi bar? A phi bar is obtained by applying either right hand thumb rule. Keep your right hand thumb in the direction of current here. Let me take a pointer. So keep your right hand thumb in the direction of current and curl your fingers up to the point P. if you can observe that the curled fingers direction is away from the board or away from the paper, and it is in positive Z direction. This is by applying right hand thumb rule. Otherwise, you can also apply the formula, which is A phi bar is equal to AL bar cross A rho bar. What is AL bar? It is the unit vector which is in the direction of current. What is the direction of current here? Positive Y. So it is AY bar cross. And what is A rho bar? It is a perpendicular unit vector from the conductor to the point of interest. Now if you observe, the conductor is the second conductor and the point of interest is at the center. So this is the perpendicular unit vector which is drawn from the conductor to the point of interest. Now what is this direction? It is a negative x direction. Okay, rightwards is considered as positive x direction. As the direction is towards left, it is a negative x direction. So AY bar cross minus AX bar. Now what is AY bar cross minus AX bar? So AX, AY, AZ. When you are moving in clockwise direction, you will get positive unit vectors. When you are moving in anti-clockwise direction, you will get negative unit vectors. This is a blind rule. Now AY bar, so keep minus as it is. AY bar cross AX bar. So I am moving in reverse direction. So I will get negative. So you will get minus AZ bar. Minus of minus plus. So that the direction is AZ bar again. Now I got A phi bar value, cos alpha 2 value, cos alpha 1 value. And what is rho? Rho is the perpendicular distance from the conductor to the point of interest, and this value will be L by 2. Substituting all these four values in this expression, you will get H2 bar as let me write H2 bar, or let me substitute everything here. I by 4 pi into L by 2. What is cos alpha 2? Cos alpha 2 is 1 by root 2 minus cos alpha 1 is also 1 by root 2, so it is plus 1 by root 2. And what is the direction? AZ bar. If you evaluate this, you will get the same answer as we got in the first conductor. As we got in the first conductor, you will get the same answer. If you simplify this, you will get this as your answer. Okay, I don't want to do it again. So it is also I by root 2 pi L AZ bar ampere per meter. Okay, what is this? This is H2 bar. Like that, similarly you can find H3 bar and H4 for H4 bar. You will get the same values for H3 as well as H4. It is the task which I am giving for you. Please go through that. Please evaluate as we have understood how to find H1 bar, which is the field due to first side, and H2 bar, which is the field due to second side. You can find the field due to third side as well as fourth side. You will get the same answers. Okay, please go through that and check with your answers. Now finally, the field at the center of this square current carrying loop P is the summation of all the four fields, which is due to first, due to second as well as due to third. Now we know that H1 bar is equal to H2 bar is equal to H3 bar is equal to and H4 bar. All are same, and we will get this as I by root 2 pi L into AZ bar for a square of side L carrying a current of I exactly at its center when it is placed in XY plane. You will get this as your field intensity for each and every side. Now what is the magnetic field intensity at the point P, H suffix P bar? It is summation of all four, H1 bar, H2 bar, H3 bar and H4 bar, and it is given by, as all are same, you will get this as 4I by root 2 times pi L AZ bar ampere per meter. Okay, so 4 can be written as 2 into 2. So I am writing this as 2 into root 2 into root 2. 4 can be written as 2 into root 2 into root 2 into I by root 2 pi L into AZ bar ampere per meter. So root 2 gets cancelled. So finally H at the point P is given by 2 root 2 into I by pi times L AZ bar ampere per meter. This is the magnetic field intensity at its center of a square current carrying loop. Okay, you can find simply due to a rectangular current carrying loop applying the same concept. Okay, so let me remind you or revise you up to now using Biot-Savart's law. What are the various field intensities we have evaluated? Okay, so let me write all the things at a single place. First, we have evaluated due to straight and finite current carrying conductor, straight and finite current carrying conductor, and we got the expression for this as H bar is equal to I by 4 pi rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 AZ bar. Please make it, please note it down. Everything up to now we have evaluated all these things from the last 3 to 4 classes. I am writing everything at a single place. Secondly, we have evaluated due to infinite current carrying conductor, and we got the value as, and we got the expression for field intensity as I by 2 pi rho A5 bar ampere per meter. Here it is A5 bar, I think so, sorry. Next, we have evaluated due to square current carrying conductor, sorry, circular current carrying conductor, circular current carrying conductor or circular wire, and we got this exactly at the axis. So here two cases we have done at the axis, at a particular point on the axis. We got this value as I rho square by 2 into rho square plus H square whole power 3 by 2 into AZ bar ampere per meter, and not at the axis but at the center. If you want to find the magnetic field intensity exactly at the center, we got this expression as H bar is equal to I by 2 rho AZ bar ampere per meter. And fourthly, we have and as the fourth case, we have evaluated due to solenoid current carrying wire, due to a solenoid, and we got this exactly at the center on the axis, exactly at the center, as H bar is equal to Ni by 2 into cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1 AZ bar ampere per meter, exactly at the center. And if the length of the solenoid is very much larger when compared to radius, we got this as Ni AZ bar ampere per meter. And at the last, we have evaluated due to square current carrying loop, due to square current carrying conductor or square loop, and we got this as the expression. So these are the magnetic field intensities due to various current carrying conductors we have evaluated, especially by applying Biot-Savart's law.